49ers and the Rams. This game does mean something. This game does have double motivation. So finally, we get one to talk about here where the 49ers need to win to get in the playoffs. The Rams need to win the NFC West. We have the Rams as 4.5 point home favorites right now. We have we have a total of 44.5. Brad, look, there's something to be said for just winning in the NFL. That being said, the Rams have done it several times this year, looking fairly sloppy and looking fairly pedestrian. But again, a win is a win is a win is a win. And there's something to be said for winning in the NFL. 49ers, on the other hand, same deal. It's kind of like sometimes they look really good. Other times they look really pedestrian. Now it looks like they're going to try to roll out Jimmy Garoppolo this week, despite the fact that he's got a bone fracture and a ligament damage in his hand. I think Shanahan just feels in a win or go home game that he'd rather have the guy that he's ridden with for much, much longer out there than Trey Lance, who he had to go with this past week. So 4.5 right now in favor of the Rams in a game that does mean something to both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to be on the Rams side here because they're getting 4.5 on the road. Again, I don't think home field is going to be huge here. It's maybe a point and a half maximum. And the San Francisco 49ers, they've had the better offense in the second half of the year. I've got the Rams down in 18th in EPA in the second half of the season. I've got the Niners up in 6th. So
you're actually saying you'd be on the 49ers taking the points?
Yes. What did I say? Did I not say that?
Yeah, you said the Rams. So I was confused.
Oh, sorry,
here.
yeah.
Okay, yes. So the Niners.
Sorry,
okay.
Yeah. 49ers getting the points. Mm-hmm. So better offense second half of the year. Now, I do not really want a quarterback with a thumb that can't throw. That I'd probably rather Trey Lance in there, to be honest. So that is definitely off-putting. The other fact here is the 49ers cornerbacks. Obviously, it's like the entire corner room is on the COVID list at the minute. I think they're going to get the key ones back. It looks like Emmanuel Mosley, he's going to return from IR. He was activated. He could play. And they might only be missing, what's his name, Domador Lenoir. So they should be healthy-ish in the defensive backfield. So, yeah, we'd definitely lean 49ers, but I don't really want a quarterback with a gammy thumb thrown for me.
So this is a pretty telling statement here, Stephen, coming out of practice yesterday. Asked by Deebo Samuel what Jimmy Garoppolo looked like, and he said, "Jimmy just looked like Jimmy to me." I don't know if I want my receiver. Yeah, like I've got a broken bone in my hand and a broken ligament, and like he's like saying like, yeah, he just looks like Jimmy to me. It'd be like, no, man, say like, hey, he's doing really great considering the fact, the circumstances. So don't be like Aaron Rodgers to me. Yeah, it's like don't be just like, oh yeah, he just looks like exactly what he normally looks like, because that means like, oh, he's just as good with ligament damage than he is when he's actually healthy. But anyway, it does look like at this point it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he's gotten in a couple of limited practices, and like I said, I just think it's probably Shanahan saying, if we got to win a game, at least I have a guy that I've rode with before, as opposed to trying to go into new territory here with Trey Lance.
Matt, I've been watching some of the practice clips of Jimmy this week on social media, and he looked like Jimmy to me too. There's a drill where he takes a snap, he drops back, and he's just throwing to George Kittle, who's standing down the field by himself. There's no defense or anything. It's just pass, take the snap, drop back, pass it to Kittle. First pass, great. Second one, Kittle had to leap as high as he could and catch it with one hand. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be erratic. He had off-target high passes that led to interceptions in his last game against the Titans when this thumb issue took place at some point in the middle of the game. So I think Kyle Shanahan playing him would tell us that he values him basically as a field general, being able to check into certain situations against the Rams front, being able to check out of plays that he just can't do with Trey Lance once the play clock hits 15 and the radio shuts off in his helmet. So The Rams have been unimpressive, though, right? I mean, I think Brad's made that point. Jimmy Garoppolo, for what he is with a bad thumb, Matthew Stafford, his last 2 games, has 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Excuse me. He's had bad interceptions in multiple games. He's had pick sixes, including in the brutal matchup and loss that they had to San Francisco earlier this year. Then you kind of have the coaching factor here. This is a little trendy, but I think it's at least a little significant that Kyle Shanahan has won 5 straight games against Sean McVay. Both the teams are properly motivated, like you mentioned. So I just think there's a wide range of outcomes in this game with the quarterback situations on both sides. And I do think that the 49ers pass rush is good enough to possibly overcome some of the secondary issues. Top 6 in pass rush win rate, top 3 also in run stop win rate. So with a wide range of outcomes in this game, why not take the plus 180 on the money line with the 49ers instead of just minus 110 to cover the spread? That's kind of the angle I like better here with what we know about the quarterback situations. I'd rather just take the plus 180 on the money line.
Looks like we're going to get Cam Akers back out there at least for a little bit for the Rams. Probably going to try to get him a little bit of run before they get into the playoffs and whatnot. But he has been practicing for the last couple of weeks and apparently practiced, quote, full speed flying around is the quote for Cam Akers for the Rams. And of course, we do know that there is still that outside chance that Cooper Kupp could just shatter all the records this year. That being said, he came out and said, yeah, I get the extra game. I don't think that it's worth anything. So he basically is talking about he doesn't really care on those records because he got the extra game as well. So just something to, from a motivational standpoint, it's not like I don't think that he's going to be in the huddle going, feed me the ball, feed me the ball, feed me the ball.
Yeah, the game's too important for that this week, right? Like last week was the week for that.